opinion on Golden Goose and why so many people are drawn to it. Now, first of all, my first question is Golden Goose having a resurgence? Because I don't see too many people wearing Golden Goose, at least not these days. When I was younger, around the time when, it was the same time when Saint Laurent Wyatt boots were really popular. That was when loads of people used to wear Golden Goose. I don't really see it as much. And to be honest, I don't really get the appeal of Golden Goose. They're just kind of just like distressed trainers, distressed footwear. I don't get it really. I've seen a lot of people recently wearing like the cowboy boots, but I don't really understand the appeal of it. Not to say that it isn't valid, I just don't understand it. I didn't even know that Golden Goose was still a thing, like that people are really wearing. I don't actually see them a lot. I just remember them from that time, like 2010s is when a lot of people used to wear it. The trusty Golden Gooses, guys. Trusty. Peachy says, I have no clue what Golden Goose is. Yeah, it's these like sneakers. It's a footwear company, essentially. They make these distressed, kind of worn out looking sneakers. However, they do also make other things. Let me see if they show like some of their boots. Like, okay, like here, for example, they make these like cowboy looking boots and all this other stuff. But they are mainly known for the worn out looking sneakers that Gucci kind of copied based off the success of the Golden Gooses. But yeah, I don't really see them anymore. I barely see them. And Fari says, I saw someone wearing Vetements socks today. 2010's resurgence. Oh my god, we're going back, guys. We're going back. The Vetements oversized hoodies, the DHL t-shirts, the Polizei caps. That was a time, to be fair. David said, yeah, Germany is full Golden Goose. So in Germany, it's still a big thing. That's interesting. That is so interesting. I'm going to Berlin next year, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that. I'm definitely going to be on the lookout. Golden Goose is for people who want to wear sneakers but don't want to be a part of the working class sneaker community. It's like a luxury whitewash sneaker community. That's low-key true though. They kind of want to seem down to earth, but at the same time, you can tell that they're Golden Goose because of the star. So it's like, well, they're not really low key, are they? We know that your sneakers are really expensive. Like, look, even these sneakers on the screen, these are £450, so not cheap. How do you think sneaker culture will be like in 2025? Since in my opinion, it's definitely declined. Yeah, I think sneaker culture is definitely on a downward spiral. I honestly think it's low-key a good thing because I think something I've always been a fan of is wear whatever shoes you want to wear. Don't wear shoes just because it's hype. Wear what you personally like. And I think sneaker culture, a lot of it came with hype. Of course, there was a genuine sneaker culture at one point, but I think a lot of it got hijacked by hype beasts and stuff. And I think that whole genre of fashion is dying, which I think is low-key a good thing. We're going to go back to people just wearing whatever shoes they want to wear, whatever shoes they find comfortable, whatever shoes they like visually, and that's how we're going to move forward. Gap just dropped new heavyweight hoodies that look similar to Yeezy Gap hoodies. Yeah, every company does that. Every single company does that. I mean, think of JW Anderson. I'm not sure how many of you guys know this story. Let me see if I can get an article on the screen, actually. Because this would actually illustrate my point perfectly. Let me just put it on the screen either way. So anyway, these this JW Anderson collaboration with Converse, I think they were called the Run Star Hikes. They started making, so they would collaborate with JW Anderson, get his ideas, and then they would just remove his name from the collaboration and make them as a general release. And these sold really well. And JW Anderson was obviously angry. I remember he posted about it on Instagram about, brands and companies taking your ideas and just, chewing you up and spitting you out. And that's how the fashion system is. And so I say this to say that every company does that. The same thing happened to Samuel Ross when he was at A Cold War. He had a collaboration with Converse. Then they just removed the Converse logo and released them as GRs. Every brand does this. Even Nike does it all the time. Not just like, oh, we're going to steal your ideas and then do away with it. They also soft launch things. So if you guys remember, let me put this on the screen actually, the CDG Vapor Max. Let's see, the CDG Vapor Max. So yeah, so when these came out, the Vapor Max had already been designed by Nike, but Nike wanted to soft launch the Vapor Maxes through Comme des Garçons because they have an ongoing partnership. For people that don't know, every single year, Comme des Garçons collaborates with Nike on a few sneaker silhouettes. In every single Comme des Garçons Un Plus collection runway show, there's a Nike collab on the runway every single time. So they kind of used Comme des Garçons to soft launch the Vapor Max as a silhouette because it was new at the time. So when they saw the success, like through the Comme des Garçons collab, then they released the laceless Vapor Maxes with a wider release. So you can't even call that, oh, they're taking CDG's ideas because it was a Nike design. So, you know, every company does that. I think that's just normal practice in fashion. Yeah, if you sign a contract on a dotted line and they still own the IP and the rights to stuff, then you can't really complain because you signed a contract. You know what I mean? This YouTube channel runs on your support. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. You'll gain access to exclusive content that includes everything from my Patreon podcast, where I give a behind-the-scenes insight into the fashion industry, as well as a fashion book club, where I review my favorite fashion books. You can also check out my fashion ebook, which highlights the best fashion journalists to follow, definitions of common fashion terminology, and how to determine what a good source of fashion information is. The links to everything are in the description below.